right now.
Mhm.
You can start.
The host isn't allowing. I
Perdón.
cannot hear.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. Can you see it?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. So I can start. So good morning, professor. Good morning, classmate. My name is Jesus Io Cortez, and my research is about the use of technological resources like apps and websites in learning English. So the technology plays an important roles in nowadays, and this study showed that mobile application improve vocabulary retention in English learners. So with this background, I have this question. So what impact do technological resources such as apps and online platform have on learning English? So my objective with this research is to analyze the impact of technological resources on English learning, evaluate the effectiveness, and investigate how educational technologies motivate and transform the English learning process. So my hypothesis is that technological resources have a positive impact on the English learning process. So for this research, I did a qualitative method. I did surveys with people of different ages and English level.
Se congeló. Oh, se congeló.
To videos and listen Spotify to learn English. Another important data is that 80% of people believe that these technological resources like app and website think that help in the learning process of learning a language. In this case is English. So another important data is that 66% think that increase their vocabulary using these apps like Duolingo, for example, and 100% think that improve the grammar in their learning process. An important data is that 67% of people think that with the use of these apps and website increase your motivation to learn English. So the result validate my hypothesis and is demonstrating in these interesting percentages. And I analyze different variables like grammar, vocabulary, motivation, and autonomous. So that is all about my research. Here I have the reference. It's some books about Smith and Jen. So thank you very much and for listening to me.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. Excellent. Very
Very
good.
fast.
Very nice topic. Okay. Thank you. Who's next? Siguiente, por favor.
Mi profesor.
Okay. Please start.
Can you see my or not? Ah, okay. Good evening, Professor. Good evening, classmates. Today we're going to talk about the effectiveness of a current evaluation system in writing English stats in a context of increasing use of artificial intelligence. So, okay. So, well, as we already know, artificial intelligence tools such as ChatGPT, Grammarly, and Keyboard have become integral in academic writing tasks. So in this study, we are going to investigate whether Turing evaluation system can effectively access students' performance in a context of increasing the AI usage. My question in this research was, can Turing evaluation system in writing English tasks be effective in a context of increasing AI usage? We are going to respond this question through this objective to access the accuracy of Turing assessment method in grammar, coherence, and creativity, and determine the frequency of AI tools usage by students. Move my PowerPoint. Something happened. Okay. Well, in this work, I have three hypotheses. The first one was that AI tools may invalidate traditional assessment. The second one was that these tools provide accurate grammar assessment but lack creativity in evaluation. And the last one was that the students often rely on these tools without verifying information. To answer this question, I use a quantitative methodology with 8 participants with level C1 and 12 professors. The tools that I used was ChatGPT, Grammarly, Killbot, Excel, and Google Form, the 3 ES, to verify how these tools grade comparing with the professor, with a human professor. My data collection was through essays, as I already said, evaluated by a human and AI tools, and surveys to get the perspective of students and professors. Okay, the results that I have responding of my objective was that there are a little different between that. There are considerably different between human and AI evaluations, particularly when we talk about grammar and creativity. AI tools are better evaluating grammar, but when they have to evaluate creativity, a human professor have a better view in this part. When we grade, when the professor grades these essays, ChatGPT was the closer alignment with human evaluations, support the exploration of how effective it can be, AI can be in technical areas. The finding that humans with assessment, creativity, and key insight into the limitation of AI tools. In my second objective, when I want to determine the frequency of AI tools usage, most of the students in the server respond that they use AI tools to get ideas for their work, but they verify their answers because sometimes or most of the times AI can respond with creating this answer, not with a valid research. And when we identify the professor perspective, they talk about that they can identify when a learner use AI tools in their essays.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Next, please, Leslie Reyes.
Yes, Professor, it's my turn.
Yes, please.
Yes, I'm here.
Could you start, please? 5 minutes, no more.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Today I will present the findings of my research comparing face-to-face classes and online learning in Bolivia. The focus of this study is on students' engagement and academic performance in both learning environments. Introduction. As you well know, when the pandemic began, the educational systems around the world shifted to online learning. Here in Bolivia, this shift brought significant challenges, particularly due to the limited technology access. My research explores these two learning formats, face-to-face and online learning, to determine which one is more effective in promoting students' engagement and improving learning outcomes. Hypotheses and objectives. The hypothesis of my study is face-to-face classes will demonstrate better students' engagement and participation compared to online learning classes. And the two main objectives of these studies are to compare students' engagement between online and face-to-face learning environments, to evaluate students' academic performance in both learning formats. The methodology. Type of research is quantitative comparative study. The data collections surveys of students who experience both formats, participants, students from across Bolivia. Engagement. In the engagement section, the results shows that 50% of students participate more actively in face-to-face classes. And many of them feel more encouraged by their teachers in this format. Additionally, face-to-face classes and lower distractions levels compared to online learning, which often face challenges such as multitasking and technical issues. Comfort and learning experience. Most of the students, the 75% of them, reported that they felt more comfortable in face-to-face classes and understood the material better. This suggests that physical classes contribute to a more effective learning experience for many students. Challenge with online learning. While online learning offers flexibility, students report several challenges, including frequent technical issues, such as poor internet connections. In fact, 50% of the respondents encounter these issues regularly, and the 62.5% of the students felt more distracted during online classes. Conclusion. In conclusion, the findings of this research support the hypothesis face-to-face classes provide a more engaging and effective learning environment, with better participation, comfort, and understanding of the material. While online learning has its advantages, face-to-face learning appears to offer a superior experience in terms of students' engagement and overall success.
Okay,
And
thank
that's all.
you. Thank you very much. Very well done. Next, please, Romy Llanos.
Okay,
Su
my
micrófono.
microphone.
Ajá.
Yes, now.
Ajá.
Now, what I will share. Are you seeing my presentation?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Well, good evening, classmates, professor. My topic is recognition of nouns and word reasoning. Well, 53,000 school students graduated in Santa Cruz in 2023. Some graduated school students take particular classes to be admitted in Gabriel René Moreno University. Okay. For this reason, I checked the literature review about word reasoning. Word reasoning is the ability to deal with words like nouns, suffixes, functions of nouns. Okay. Okay. The research problem is, why do not my Santa Cruz graduated high school students recognize Spanish nouns? Okay. Now, I've got the following objectives. The general objectives is to explore the current situation of students' knowledge about nouns. And specific objectives is to identify the most important linguistic element for recognizing nouns during word reasoning. Okay. Where my hypothesis is the deficient recognition of Spanish nouns is caused by the deficient word reasoning with other linguistic elements like articles, adjectives, meaning, suffixes, and functions of nouns. The dependent variable is the recognition of Spanish nouns. The independent variable is the word reasoning with nouns, articles, and so on. Just this study is to explore my classroom situation. This study will be the base for a teaching methodology, and this study will give some understanding about teaching practice on Spanish grammar. Research methodology. This study follows a quantitative method and is using a structured questionnaire to collect data. Okay. Let's go to the findings and interpretation. In the first question, this first question was used to activate word reasoning. No? Okay, you can see the underlined words are the nouns that a student has to identify. Okay. My first question give me the following answer, that these students their answers are not satisfactory. No, are not satisfactory. Okay. 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 I will advance to the final.
Please, conclusion.
Yes, general interpretation. Adjectives, meaning, and functions of a noun are the most frequent linguistic elements that are used to recognize nouns during a student's word reasoning. On the other hand, suffixes and articles are not the most frequent linguistic elements, even though they are mentioned in the questionnaire. The results from questions 8, 9, and 10 show that teaching practice should improve using all the previous findings regarding Spanish nouns. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ronnie. The next one, you have done a great job. Vania Flores. Thank you. Vania Flores,
Yes, Professor, I'm here.
stop, please.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, Professor and classmate. My research is about improving speaking skill throughout information gap activities. So this research is based on the factors that cause problems in the ability of students to master speaking English. One of the objectives of this study is to describe the environment in which information gap activity is useful for improving speaking. Well, the participants in this study are second-year semester English students at the University Gabriel René Moreno. I use interviews, questionnaires to gather the data, and qualitative and quantitative formats used to present to collect the data. Next, please. Well, in these research questions, sorry. Okay. In these research questions, this is my research question that to what extent will the application of information gap activities help the second year students improve their speaking skills in the language department of the Autonomous University Gabriel René Moreno? Next, please. Okay. The objective of the study is first to determine if the speaking skills of the students have improved with the application of the information gap activities, to encourage students to work in pairs or in small groups by participating in speaking activities in the classroom. Third, to evaluate the level of confidence and motivation of the students when practicing this activity. And the last, to know the results of the investigation to improve the implementation of the investigation gap activities in the future. Next, please. Well, this is my hypothesis. The result of this research will help both teachers and students of the Department of English at the Autonomous University Gabriel René Moreno in the teaching and learning process by the use of information gap activities as an effective strategy to improve students' oral skills and make the most dynamic classes. Consequently, students will feel more confident and encouraged when they have to communicate inside and outside the classroom. The variables independent, the use of information gap activities as an effective strategy to improve oral skills, and the dependent, students will feel more confident and encouraged when communicate inside and outside the classroom. Next, please. Well, the research methodology. This study is an actual research that aims to improve the methodology of teachers and the ability of students to speak in the classroom throughout the implementation of the information gap technique. As I said before, this study is conducted with the second year students and how students interact with each other and with the teacher. In collaboration with the teacher, then I developed a lesson plan to implement the information gap activities. And finally, I collect the data, analyze it, and I reflect on it. Okay. My results from the questionnaire students' behavior. The questionnaire results show that the majority of students, 80%, found that information gap technique to help improve their speaking skills, and well, the results are present in the graph. Next, please. Okay, the results show a significant improvement in students' participation, engagement during the lesson where the gap activity was applied. For example, category pre and post student participation, pre 40%, post 80%, and student engagement 30% and post 70%. The study's results suggest that the information gap techniques is an effective method for improving student speaking skills. Also, it promotes improved in student participation and engagement during the lesson where the information gap technique was applied. Moreover, this technique can motivate students to participate in speaking activities.
Thank
Next,
you.
that's all.
Thank you. That's all. Thank you very much. Okay, next, please, very quickly, is Daniela.
Yes,
Daniela, please.
sir. Can you see my screen? Okay, good evening, professor and classmates. I will share my research. How does English proficiency affect jobs opportunities? Okay, I want to about the background. English is an essential in business, science, technology, and international relations, enabling communication across countries. And many multinational companies use English as their main language, making it crucial for job opportunities and global collaboration. Okay, professional with a strong skill, strong English skill enjoy better career prospect, higher salaries, and more mobility. Okay, okay, here we have a research problem, and the central question is, how does English proficiency affects job opportunities for professionals in non-English speaking country? So also we have here the sub questions. How does English proficiency affect job opportunities? And to what extent has English proficiency influenced your career job? Okay, here we have the hypothesis. Professionals with English proficiency in non-English speaking countries can access a wider range of job opportunities in many areas than those without. Okay, also I want to share the objectives, and the general objective of this research is to analyze the importance of English proficiency on job opportunities for professionals in non-English speaking countries. So also we have the specific objective is to examine how English proficiency influences job eligibility and employability in global and local markets. And to identify sectors where English is a critical requirement, and also to provide recommendations for improving their English language. Okay, the methodology that I used is quantitative and qualitative method study. So the present research applies a mixed method. As you can see, the data collection was carried out on 30 people who work in a company to prove the study's hypothesis about English proficiency and affect jobs opportunities, of course, for professional in non-English speaking. Okay, I use also Google Forms to make it survey. Okay, I got some important responses from my variables. Is how important is English proficiency in your hearing decision? As you can see, 46.2%, and to what extent has English proficiency influenced your career job? Like 53.8%. That is that influence English in their career job. And how important is English proficiency in your hearing decision? Also 46.2%. Okay, just to conclude. Okay, here we have a conclusion. English proficiency is important for career growth and job opportunities, especially in non-English speaking country, like for example, Bolivia, right? So many respondents use English at work, but is still facing challenges. One key issue is the lack of language training for employers. Respondents suggest that improving speaking skills and using online tools or courses can help. So this showed that professionals with better English skill have more job opportunities and perform better at work. So
Yeah,
that's it,
okay.
Professor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next, Lucy, please. 5 minutes. Lucy, ¿dónde está Lucy? Ahí está Lucy Campbell. Your microphone. Daniela Mamani. Lucy, no, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Hello.
Ya, ahora sí.
Oh, no, sorry. Okay. I am going to talk about why the students don't apply the new vocabulary acquired. The background. According to an English teacher, he mentioned that this is very important to communicate effectively. This teacher was a cat. The research problem. After observing my class of 6th grade in primary school, I realized that in all the written activities, my students tend to use the same words all the time. Most of them never use the words that we learn in each unit. So I start questioning myself, why students don't apply the new vocabulary acquired? My objectives. The general investigate students' struggles at the moment of writing the new vocabulary learning class. The specific to recognize the students' difficulties in learning vocabulary and to provide the learners the best strategies of learning a new vocabulary. Another one, helping the students to improve their writing skills. My hypothesis. Providing them games to review the vocabulary and giving them extra worksheets with the exercises, showing them how to use the words in context, they will remember the words and they will apply it in their writings. The research methodology I used was quantitative research with multiple choices questions. I applied to 8 of my students. And the findings. According to the statistics, the findings in this research reveals that most of the learners find a new vocabulary just a little bit challenging, not difficult. Then most of them remember better the words looking at picture and making sentences. Finally, the majority don't review the words out of the class and don't use the words because sometimes they don't know how to use the words in a sentence. So in conclusion, providing students visual support materials and giving them worksheets, papers with some exercises are the best option to improve their learning English vocabulary and their writing skills.
Okay, thank you very much, Lucy. Brenda, please, you have 5 minutes. Brenda Tamo.
Can you see my screen, Professor?
Yes.
Okay. So good evening. My research is about the students' attrition at Gabriel de Moreno University on our career. So first of all, the background. The attrition is the number of students that left their studies without completing the program. So this phenomenon can perpetuate social and also economical inequality, and also affects the innovation capacity and the competitiveness of the students. There could be many reasons for leaving a career. And these can develop further issues that will affect not only the society, but also students and educational institutions. So what is the problem here? As Oswaldo Ulloa says on 2021, there are only 10% of students that get a degree at Gabriel René Moreno University. This is a fact, but we don't have the reasons why this happened. So there is limited research on the principal reasons of this. And understanding these factors will make students, the factors why students take this decision will help to prevent future dropouts in higher education. So what are my objectives with this research is to identify the key factors of a student's lack of interest and maybe the motivation, to analyze the reasons for students drop out at the languages program, and to explore possible solutions to improve students' retention. Why I am doing this research? Because by examining the experiences of linguistic students and identifying their needs, this research will improve students' retention and also enhance the quality of language teacher education, because teachers also make a positive impact on the students. So my hypothesis is that the students in linguistic programs who perceive a strong sense of community on the environment, relevant coursework, and also effective mentorship are more likely to persist in their studies and less likely to experience attrition. The research methodology that I apply is mixed methods approach, with a survey to quantify the number of students that have this tendency, and also an interview to ex-students that already left the university, and to explore the reasons why they did that. So my survey showed up that most of the students have considered left their studies, especially as you can see in my chart, there is between third and fourth year, most of the students think of leaving the career because they experience some problems at the university. Some of them are because of the program, some of them because of the schedule, and most of them, more than 55% of the students, said that there is no balance between their work life and their students' life. The survey also reveals that 50% of students should continue on the continued teaching training program if the institution increased financial support and also flexible schedules. As you can see here, scholar internships and maybe works part-time jobs would help to improve balance between work life and professional formation for students, for universities. In conclusion, our findings confirm the hypothesis that a strong sense of community, relevant coursework, and also effective mentorship are crucial for student success. And specifically, we found that the students who left the faculty, they are more likely to persist on their studies.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Brenda. Okay. Muy bien, entonces, Liana, Zurita, Kelly, Mamani, we are going to meet.
Yes, Professor, I'm trying to share.
¿Perdón? No, se va a cortar la reunión.
Yes, Professor, I'm trying to share.
Vamos a volver a conectarnos ya.
Okay.
Unos 10 minutos, por favor. Ya serían las últimas, ¿no? 3 nomás falta. ¿Listo?
Yes.
10 minutos más, por favor. Traten de hacerlo cortito, ¿ok? Thank you. Nos vemos en 10 minutos. See you in 10 minutes.
Okay.